Hey everybody, Regina Andler here, and welcome to Coffee with Regina. Today I have my friend Julie Musial. I hope I'm
Musial.
pronouncing Musial on with me today. And Julie has a great background. I'm going to actually have Julie tell you who she is and what she does because, reading bios is always great. This is a chat with purpose, casual conversation. And I really prefer to have the people that I'm talking to tell us what they do because they can explain it way better than I can. So, Julie, tell us what you do.
What do I do? I am a business coach consultant, and I teach small business owners that provide professional services how to generate more money using my proprietary program, Love Your Life and Love Your Business, guaranteed.
That is awesome. Love your life and love your business. So I know we were talking about, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to chat about? And love your life, love your business. It's all about creating that lifestyle business. You hear that term all the time, lifestyle business. What is a lifestyle business to you? What does that mean?
Well, for me, it means something totally different than it means to everybody else because what makes me happy doesn't make someone else happy. We're all different. We're all created different. What lifestyle business means to me is having the freedom to get up every day and do what I want, what I love to do. Because what I love to do is really to help small business owners. It's what lights me up. So, lifestyle business is to do what I want, when I want, how I want to do it.
I love that. I love that definition. And, you hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned with my definition of it as well, because it's different for everybody. I don't want what you want. You don't want what I want. The next person, whoever's listening to this, um, doesn't necessarily want what we want. They want what they want.
Right.
For me, a lifestyle business is for me to be able to work when I want, how I want, have the income coming in. And for me, it's to be able to work from anywhere. I want to be, if I want to go camping, I want to go to a campground and say, hey, we're doing coffee with Regina from the campground today. I want to be able to work from anywhere because for me, that's what makes me happy. And that's, you hit the nail on the head there. It's what makes you happy. And it's different for everybody. And
That's
as
absolutely huge. And in today's world, we're able to do that because of technology. We are literally able to work from anywhere in the world. That is the coolest thing that's happened in my lifetime.
Yeah, isn't that great how technology has actually made it easier for those of us who want that kind of lifestyle business as far as being able to work from anywhere, do anything anywhere. And now with technology, I mean, my background is tech.
Mhm.
So, I've grown up with all of this tech stuff over the past 30 years. And way back when, there was no Zoom, there was no Facebook, there was none of this information. And, there was none of this extra stuff that would just come up that would allow you to have this lifestyle business. And so it's really nice that we can work from anywhere now. And
Right.
I love that. So when it comes to business owners, we talk with, women business owners and that, in my world, it's helping women who are overwhelmed and bringing them to being overjoyed. If you're living that lifestyle business, you are in that overjoyed state. And there's that little delta in between from the, hey, I'm really overwhelmed. I'm not living my lifestyle business. This is not exactly what I planned for. They're trying to move from that point A to point B to get to that lifestyle business. And, as entrepreneurs, we all have these traits that you need in order to be successful as an entrepreneur. What would you say are some of the top traits that you think an entrepreneur needs in order to create that lifestyle business?
I think self discipline is absolutely key. If you cannot get yourself out of bed in the morning and to do what you want to do, it's just not going to work. My background, I've worked in a lot of different sales teams, and sales, just like being an entrepreneur, if you can't self motivate, you will not make it. So it's discipline, but it's being able to self motivate, to be able to communicate well, to be able to ask for help. A lot of the issues that I see with entrepreneurs, and I suffer from all of these same things, is not being able to ask for help and not knowing when you need to ask for help, waiting too long, and then getting to that overwhelmed stage and quitting. You know, I don't want people to quit. I want them to ask for the help before they need the help. So really self-discipline and knowing yourself, knowing what you need to succeed.
Yeah, and I love that. There's a whole bunch you just packed right in there with the self-motivation, the self-discipline, and all of that stuff. And not every day. We talk about this. We are coaches. Both of us are coaches, and both of us coach entrepreneurs and help them create those lifestyle businesses.
Mhm.
And we have days when we wake up and we're like, I don't want to do this. It's we're just because we teach this stuff does not make us any different from anybody else. What's the difference? I know my difference when it comes to that. What's your difference when it comes to that mindset of, but hey, I got to get up and do this?
I think you have to prepare for it. Mindset is everything. Mindset, in my opinion, is 100% your success. You have to work on your mindset before you can work on anything else, because we all have those days. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care if you're a multimillionaire. I don't care if you're a billionaire. We all have those days. And you have to know what your go-tos are. You have to work on your mindset, because when you have those days, you have to know how to get yourself out of those days. And that's really a leadership skill.
Yeah, and yeah, that's one of the big things right there is that, I grew up in corporate world doing my tech stuff when I first started out. And I grew up through the ranks. I did the corporate ladder, moved up into management and into a director and moved up through corporate world. And, you kind of pick up leadership skills along the way. And being a manager and being a leader are two completely different things.
Hmm.
You do not
Yes.
have to, yeah, you don't have to be a manager to be a leader. Leaders are a kind of different breed, I believe. And you can become a leader. And it's one thing to lead other people, it's another thing to lead yourself. Do you
It
agree with
is,
that?
most
Yeah.
definitely. And I also grew up in the corporate world. And unfortunately, if you think back to who your leaders were, we can all think of good leaders and we can all think of bad leaders. Um, it just brings visions to my mind of the good and the bad. And I try to emulate the good and study the really good leaders like the Jack Welches of the world, the Steve Jobs. Study those good ones. How did they do it? Why were they so good? And try to emulate, because you can you can learn leadership skills, but there's also some skills you probably have to unlearn that you don't want to be doing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And it's so funny that you mentioned Jack Welch because, I grew up, my dad was career General Electric. And so I grew up with that mindset of, how to lead and what a leader really is. And so even when I was in my corporate world, I learned really quickly that there are managers and then there are leaders.
Hmm.
And being a manager who knows how to lead is a skill and it can be learned. And as you're doing stuff, it's not just learning how to bring those other people up, but leading yourself, especially if you're a solopreneur, is that piece where it's like, we're always our own best, our own worst critics, right? And we're always the ones who are that self-discipline, that motivation, all of that stuff. We're leading ourselves every single day towards what it is that we want and to create that lifestyle business. And I find personally that self leadership is way harder than leading other people.
I think you're right. And one of the things that entrepreneurs really struggle with, when you think about a leader versus a manager, one of the things that entrepreneurs really struggle with is being that leader. A leader works on the business, a manager works in the business. And where a lot of I would say most entrepreneurs get tripped up is they start working solely in the business because they have this great idea, they have this great skill. So they just want to do it and do it and do it, but they don't take the time out to work on the business, to see the vision. That's what a leader does. A leader sees the vision of where do you want to go and how do you want to get there. If you just get up every morning and start running and you have no idea where you're going and how you're going to get there, you're probably not going to get there. So it's looking at working on what does this business need? Who do I need to hire? I can't do it all myself. I'm wearing 50 hats. I got to take about 45 of them off. How do I do that?
Yeah, and that's a really important piece because you start as a solopreneur, and if you it was funny because as you were saying that, I was like, well, if you view the leadership as me, myself, and I, so I am leading people. They're all me. All three of them are me, myself, and I. I am leading people, and on top of that, I'm realizing that I need other people. And who do I need? And where do I find those people? And are they all people I actually have to hire? Or when you say hire, people will hire virtual assistants or just hire somebody to do their website. So they aren't really hired. They aren't working for your company. They're just people. They're the pieces that you need to delegate out so that you're not the one doing everything and you're working in your core genius.
Right, right. Those are, contractors. In my last business, I was a digital strategist. And what I did was I didn't have any actual employees. Because I had a home-based business, I had nobody working in my office, but I probably had 30 different contractors, maybe 40, 50, working all over the world for me. But it takes a management skill to be able to do that. It's not, as a leader, I had to see who I needed, but then manage them. So as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, you have to know who to hire and when to hire them. And there comes a point where you have to hire a VA to manage all of your contractors or your employees, because that's not what you should be doing. And then you as the leader, then you lead the VA or the manager. But it's a skill and that's where I say get help. Get help from people who have done it before. Don't, we all fail. We fail often. Successful people fail all the time. But getting that help and avoiding those big failures can really take years off the life of your business.
Yeah, so you brought up a good point about hiring the VA to manage all of these contractors that you have for everything else. Now, one of the things that I hear often is, oh, I've hired a bunch of VAs in the past. They just don't get it. I send them off to go do their thing. They don't get it. And then everything's a bigger mess than it was before I hired the VA. Do you have any thoughts, ideas, tips on picking a person to do this?
Well, I think a lot of times it comes down to being able to interview them, getting referrals, knowing what it is, sit down and figure out what it is you need, and then articulate that to the person that you're looking for, looking at their background, getting testimonials, making sure they can do it. But also, where I see a lot of people get tripped up is communication, not communicating to that person what they want and what they need. And then not just letting them go. You have to meet with them often enough to make sure that they're on the right path, because that person may be intimidated to ask you for more direction, but they might need more direction. So if you meet with them, say every other day, especially in the beginning, every other day, but then regardless of how long they've been with you, meet with them twice a week for sure to see where they're at and what's going on so that you can solve the problems before they escalate.
Right. And one of the things that you kind of breezed over there as far as like having them to give them a purpose and tell them what to do is that as the person who's hiring them, you actually need to know what it is that you want. You need to be clear on
Right.
what you want. If you're not clear on where you're going and what you really want to do and what you want to accomplish, then if you don't know that stuff, then you're not ready to hire a VA, because they won't know what to do, and you're just escalating, more confusion as to what's going to happen, because if you're not clear, they're not clear, and they will never be able to give you the result that you're looking for, because you don't even know what that result is yet.
Right. And that's where that leadership vision comes in. Getting that vision, sitting down. A vision can take you weeks to create. It's not something you think up. It's in an afternoon. Really, you should get away, just work on that vision and come up with, really, what do you see? Dream. What's your big dream?
I love that the two key words that I heard with it there were get away. And we get so wrapped up in, I want to do this, I want to create this, I want to be able to provide this result, and we sit here in our offices day after day after day, and we work on working on, in the business, just creating stuff. And yet we haven't really defined the full vision. And sitting at your desk with all of that stuff around you may not be the best environment to create that vision. And I love those two words, get away, and really actually figure out what is it that you really want to do. Step away from the stuff, step away from the desk and all the papers and all the stuff on the computer and all the emails and everything else, and actually decide what is the true vision, and then build from there.
Right. And if you have employees or contractors, involve them in the process. You might want to have some type of if it's all online, have a Zoom meeting or have some type of a strategic workshop where you listen. Just listen, be a sponge and listen to everything that they tell you, get their ideas, and then go back and put that vision together. The more you get buy-in from your employers and your contractors, the more they will want to see that vision come to fruition.
Yeah, that actually, even from corporate world way back when, that is one of the biggest mistakes I saw with the managers. And that's a leadership trait. The
Yes.
getting the buy-in from your employees and the people who work with you, because when you get them all jazzed up for the accomplishing of
Yeah.
your purpose, of the achievement of the goal, that's it's a team goal at that point. You bring them in. Now, not only do they start getting creative and go, well, what about this? What if you did this? What if you did this? And you get that, internal kind of mastermind going on, where you never know. You never know who you've got hired there. There may be somebody brilliant on your staff
Right.
that comes up with this idea that you never even considered, and it's a game changer.
Yes.
So bringing them in and incorporating them into the conversation of the vision is, I just find that to be brilliant.
I like to say, don't live in a bubble. I think sometimes entrepreneurs are afraid to ask other people for their ideas. But in reality, if you live in a bubble, you don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. That's why masterminds are great. Strategic retreats are great, just to get all those ideas and that input.
Yeah, and it's so true, because a lot of people will start a business. There's a lot of coaches out there right now, and a lot of them are solopreneurs, and they have this idea, and you see them, they're all over social media, they're all over the place. And you see them just pushing stuff out, and you can tell by what they're pushing out that they're working in a bubble. And if they just asked, whether
Right.
they go and say, hey, you know what? You're a solopreneur. I don't have employees. That's fine. Go ask some other people who are doing what you do. Go find some friends that you can, bounce your ideas off of, and get their ideas of what they think about it. Do they think it's a good thing? Ask them. You and I both work with the same mentor, Terry Levine, and we hear it all the time. Ask the one result question. If I could provide you one result, what would that result be? I'll tell you, I've done that exercise multiple times, and every single time I get responses that kind of blew my mind, because they give me responses that I never even thought of, and I was like, oh yeah,
Right.
That's a really good idea. All I
Right.
had to do was ask.
Because we're all different.
Mhm. Yeah, and just the simple process of just asking the question can open up so many doors.
Yes.
And when you think about that self-leadership, when it comes to asking, I find the process of asking one of those self-leadership things. It's a self-leadership trait internally. Leaders will ask.
Hmm.
Managers won't. They'll just say, this is what we're doing and this is how we're
Right.
going to do it. Leaders will say, hey, what do you think?
And then if you don't ask, your employees may resent it
Mm,
because they didn't have any input and they may think it's an idiotic idea, and maybe it is. So if you get buy-in to begin with and include them, then they feel like they had a say in it and they're part of it.
yeah, absolutely. And if you don't have employees, the flip side of that is with that manager mindset. The manager mindset is, here's what we're going to do. And this is just the way it is. This is what I want to do. And this is how we're going to do it, period. No questions asked. And that all of a sudden you put something out there and you're like, how come nobody's buying my stuff? How come
Right,
nobody wants my services? Well,
right,
you never asked. You never asked
right,
them what they actually wanted.
right. And that's why as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, and I believe this from my heart, everyone needs a coach. You need the right coach. Don't just get any coach. Get a coach that works for you because you don't have all the ideas. They've made the mistakes. Get their ideas, follow their lead.
Exactly. And you again hit the nail on the head with the everybody needs a coach. No matter
Mhm.
what business you're in, you should have a coach that you're working with, especially if you're a solopreneur.
Right,
If you are starting out on a new business and you're not asking the advice of somebody who has been there, done that, then you might want to step back for a second and
correct.
reconsider what you're doing, because you don't have all the answers.
Right,
You need to be good. That's another leadership trait, right? Is the acceptance of the fact that I don't know everything.
right. True
And
story. I have to tell you a true story. This was when I was a digital strategist and I owned a different company. I went many years. I would go out. I'm from Wisconsin. I would go out to the West Coast to learn technology because it was pretty much the closest place I could go to learn it. So I went out there, seminars. Really brilliant people would teach these seminars. They'd get you all jazzed up. You'd be there for a week. You'd spend a ton of money on the travel, and you'd come back. You'd be all jazzed up, and 3 weeks later, it's sitting on your shelf, and you don't do anything with it. So by getting a coach, and I finally got a coach outside of, well, I won't mention that, but I finally got a coach who knew what I wanted to accomplish. I think I had been in that business for about 5 years. The product that I was selling it for $2,500. Within 5 months, she took me from selling it at 2,500 to 50,000. The first two times I tried to sell it, after I did exactly what this coach advised me to do, I put in all the work. I went from 2,500 to 50,000. Amazing.
oh,
Amazing. And I was just blown away by the results that I had gotten. And that's what a coach can do for you if you get the right coach. If the coach knows what your needs are, what you want to accomplish.
right. And that's really the bottom line, is that when you're trying to create all of this stuff by yourself, and you maybe aren't 100% sure of your vision, you think you know what it is. It's really important that you find somebody who actually understands where you want to go. And it's always best to basically hook your wagon to someone who has been there, done that, and can help you and guide you. Because honestly, I don't really think, I mean, yes, there will continually be things that are new things that are created throughout our lifetimes, throughout the next millennia, and things that will come up. In our everyday space, most of the stuff that has been done and that you want to do has already been done.
Absolutely. So
And when
learn from the people who've
yeah.
made the mistakes and shorten your learning curve by years. And another thing too is become self-educator. Start reading books. Read about the Jack Welches, read about Steve Jobs, read about how did they lead their companies, how did they lead themselves. Just like be a sponge. And when you have downtime, maybe instead of watching Netflix, read a book about self-education and really inspiring yourself and learning from those mistakes. It's amazing what you can learn from just reading books or watching videos.
Yeah, and there's a wealth of knowledge out in podcasts these days too. And so there's so many of them out there that you find
Yes,
the right podcast that has the information for what it is that you're looking to do and
right.
the information that you need. And I mean, podcasts, I think most podcasts are free. I'm not sure if there's any podcast services that people purchase. I watch free ones.
Same here.
And I find there's everything that I need is out in the podcast world, and there's YouTube and all these places where you can get information. So instead of, watching Netflix, bounce on YouTube. You want to watch something? That's fine. Watch something. Go to YouTube and watch a video on somebody who's been there, done that,
Right,
doing what you want to do or has
right.
advice of what you want to do. There's
Knowledge
so
is
much.
power. Knowledge and
Absolutely.
preparation is power. If you lack in self-confidence in whatever it is you do, get the knowledge that you need, and it will just grow your self-confidence exponentially.
Absolutely. I am one of those people who, when I was younger and I was in my college days, and my college days went well into my 20s because I I got my associates, then I got a bachelor's, then I got an MBA, and then I was going to go back and get another master's in technology, which I never ended up doing. And I'll never forget a conversation I had with my dad one day because I was talking about, oh yeah, I'm looking at this program now, and he just looked at me. He goes, are you just going to stay in college for the rest of your life and just keep learning? And I was like, well, yeah, I want to just keep learning. And he's like, you need to get a job eventually.
Uh-huh.
and that was the whole thing is I was such a innate learner. I just wanted to keep learning new things, new things, new things. So for me, I am one of those people, if I am watching TV or something, I'm usually watching a documentary, because I love history as well. So it's like if I watch TV, it's not like, go to some, reality TV show. It's usually like right now Shark Week is on, and I'm actually fascinated by sharks, and I'm like, oh, I want to hear more about that. So I'll turn on Shark Week and learn more about sharks. I'm learning as I go along, and so it's how you spend your time. You know, we want to create that lifestyle business, and like you said, it's like if you're not self-motivated, you don't have that discipline and that leadership, that self-leadership, it's really going to be difficult to actually create that lifestyle business because you just don't have all the traits that you need. And the best part is that all of these traits can be learned.
Absolutely. And the other thing too that I didn't mention is you need to surround yourself with people who support you, people who are not toxic, people who not necessarily think like you, but people that support your dreams and your visions. Because we become like the six people we spend the most time with. So if you're spending time with people who put you down or tell you that, a lot of our friends and family, they just want to protect us. So they don't understand our dreams. Sometimes you need to talk to those people and say, this is my dream and I really wish you could support it because this is what I want to do. But if we have friends, we can pick our friends. If your friends or whoever you're associating with is not helping you grow, sometimes you have to reduce the amount of time you spend with those friends.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the tips that I give people all the time is who are you surrounded with and are they sapping all of your energy out? I talk about energy often, and those people that are toxic to you are sucking your energy away from you. And if you're having your energy sucked away from you, it's really hard to stay motivated and disciplined because
Yes,
your energy is being pulled out, and that you need to regroup. And the best thing to do is remove yourself from that situation,
right,
and you can. It's a choice.
right. Absolutely. It makes
Yeah.
a big difference.
Yeah. And so, in order to create that lifestyle business and build those leadership skills, like we said, it's, there's the podcast, there's books, there's coaches. If you don't have a coach, get a coach. If you want to create a business that's a lifestyle business, we talked about, when we first started, we talked about what do we define a lifestyle business as, and it's like, it's whatever you want it to be. Is it you can travel around the world and work wherever you want, work whatever hours you want, still have the income and the flexibility, the time freedom, the money freedom, everything that goes along with however you define your lifestyle business. In order to do that, you need all these skills, you need all these traits. And the best
Right.
way to get them is hire a coach.
Right. And also take care of yourself. It's really important. We were talking about mindset. We were talking about everybody has bad days. Really take care of yourself. Cherish your sleep. Get that. I used to pride myself on 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That was a big mistake. Now I get 7 to 8. It makes me feel so much different. What are you eating? I like to say garbage in, garbage out. You have to eat well. It will make you feel so much better. It'll give you so much more energy. Exercise. There's just those things that, whatever we all have bad habits and we can't change everything at one time. But you know what your bad habits are. Start taking baby steps to change those bad habits and make yourself healthy. The healthier you are, mind, body, spirit, you will get out of bed and you'll be raring to go.
Yeah, all of those things that you just said and that mindset of those habits, that raises your vibration. When you raise
Yes.
your vibration, you find yourself much more motivated, more self-disciplined to do what you want to do, more eager to go and do what you want to do. You have this vision, and some of us, will have this vision, and yet it's kind of like, okay, well, that's out there, and I don't know how to get there. And it's because the mindset, it's that disconnect, it's all of that other stuff.
Yes.
And you're absolutely 100% right. It's, what are you eating? What are you doing? Are you sleeping okay? Because all of that stuff saps your energy. And so you want to keep your energy and maintain that energy level so that you want to go do what it is that you want to do so that you can accomplish that lifestyle.
Right. And make sure you put time in to have fun. I think you actually asked me a question one day. You said, "How does Julie have fun?" Or I forget how you worded it, but it was like, I do have fun. I'm just not letting other people know what I do. And that's a mistake. I think you have to include people in how you have fun. Like I have 2 dogs and I am a huge walker. My dogs walk with me. I'm a huge bike rider. I do that all the time. But it's really to schedule in the fun. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, we can get so inundated with our to-do list that one of the things that you have to do, and if you're married or have a significant other, you have to put that time on your calendar. Because if you don't put that on your calendar, it's going to get squeezed out by your business. We have to take time off to just re-energize our mind. If it's just work, 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 you're going to burn out. So you have to have fun. You have to take that time to do it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That is one of the things that I learned a long time ago, and I actually do schedule in that time on my calendar. And I tell everybody who knows me, whenever they want me to do something. Now, if it's a girlfriend that says, you want to go to the movies on Saturday, and I go and I look at my calendar, and she's like, make sure you put me in your calendar, because they all know if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't happen.
That's right. That's right. And I fought an online calendar for a long time because I think I was using Stephen Covey and I loved it. But I love my Google Calendar. It interfaces with everything. I can be at the dentist and let me see if I can. It's just wonderful. It is. So I took the time to switch everything over. I think I was using like 3 different calendars. I finally switched everything over. It was a little bit of work, but it was so beautiful once it was done because now I've got that one calendar. And it's not like if I lose my phone. I think my fear was that if I lost my phone, heaven forbid I lost my calendar. But if it's on Google Drive or whatever you choose, it's in the cloud. So it doesn't matter if you lose your phone. You can go on your laptop or anywhere and get your calendar.
Yeah, exactly. I started using Google Calendar years ago, and And I love it, not that this is an ad for Google Calendar, but it's like, I love how it integrates with everything and integrates with all my apps and everything else so that,
Yes.
even Zoom,
Yes.
when I'm doing a Zoom meeting, it automatically puts it into my Google Calendar. So if I plan a meeting, schedule a meeting on Zoom, it adds it to my calendar. So I know it's all set and it's all
Yes.
ready to be there. We have
Yes.
had a ton of great information here and we're over the 30 minutes right now. So, and I'm guessing we could keep giving tips and tricks and all
We
kinds of
could.
stuff.
We could, knowing you and me.
We could go on for hours with this. Right now, tell us how people can get a hold of you. Where would they find you? And do you have anything for listeners to maybe download or check out so they can get more information on what you do and how you do it?
There's a few different ways you can get a hold of me. I have a Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group where I share a ton of information. It's oh gosh, I should have this ready. More money, work less. Anyway, it's under my name. So that's one great way. Musialcoaching.com, MUSIAL coaching.com is my website. And also, I have some on that private Facebook in the file section in the media. You can get a lot of different downloads. I have a great one on mindset, a lot of different free downloads that you can get that'll help you out.
Awesome. So can you, when we're done this, check out the Facebook page and feel free to put a link in there so people can click on your Facebook page right there.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah. So anybody who's listening or catching us on the replay, check in the comments and you can hook up with Julie and see what it is that she does, because I know Julie and I know what she does. And I'm telling you, she's fabulous at what she does. If you're looking for a business coach, we both kind of do the same thing. And, the bottom line is that when you look for a coach, when you find a coach, find the coach who is in line with what it is that you want to accomplish and somebody that you resonate with.
Yes.
Somebody that, it's, who they are and it just feels right working with them. Because if you're working with somebody and, you don't have that connection and you're going like this, you're never going to implement anything the coach tells you to do.
Absolutely. Resonate is the word that I would use. You have to resonate. So don't just go with the first coach. I've made that mistake. I've been burned. You have to work well with that coach. So interview.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Interview your coaches. That's the key right there.
Right.
And so thank you everybody for joining in. And for those of you who catch us on the replay, it's Coffee with Regina. And thank you, Julie, for being with me today. I have actually a different mug today. I usually have to have my Choose Happy mug, and now I have my love mug today.
Thanks for having me.
I chose my love mug. And so thank you so much for being here. And until next time, we'll see you next time on Coffee with Regina.
Sounds
Bye
great.
for now.
Bye.